Every summer, the kids in my town are forced to attend a mandatory summer camp. It's the kind of rule no one ever questions. Because in Aceville, rules aren't made to be broken. I was 13 years old when I first saw a kid try to escape. Her name was Clara Danvers, a senior at Aceville High. She was one of those girls who looked like they were born perfect. Pastel clothes, flower crowns, soft laughter. She had that main character, glow everyone envied. But on July 16, 2016, I saw her running for her life. You see, in Aceville, every kid who turned 18 was required to attend summer camp. They called it a rite of passage. But to the rest of us, it felt more like a punishment. No one really knew what happened there. They just said, you came back different. Some came back quieter. Some didn't come back at all. That day, my mom and I were at the local store. The air outside felt like fire. Inside, the fans were barely working, and my mom was chatting endlessly with the cashier. I remember being so bored I went to the comic book section. I was flipping through old Spider-Man issues when I heard a scream. A sharp, desperate sound that didn't belong in a quiet town like ours. I dropped the comic and rushed outside. That's when I saw her, Clara Danvers, sprinting across the parking lot barefoot, her hair flying behind her like a burning halo. 2 men in black uniforms were chasing her. I thought maybe they were police at first, but their uniforms didn't have badges. Only a single red patch stitched into the sleeves, a symbol I'd never seen before. Clara didn't make it far. A van screeched to a stop ahead of her. She turned, her eyes wide with pure terror, and then, she screamed once more before they grabbed her. One jabbed a needle into her neck. Within seconds, she went limp. I didn't realize I was still standing there until one of the men looked up. His eyes met mine. Cold. Empty. He whispered something into his radio, and I ducked. My mom's voice pulled me back. "Adeline! Get in the car!" I obeyed immediately. But even as we drove home, all I could see was Clara's face, and that red patch on the men's sleeves. That night I couldn't sleep. From my bedroom window, I could see the old forest road, the one that led to Aceville's summer camp. A convoy of vans rolled down that road, headlights slicing through the dark. And in one of those vans, I swear I saw Clara's head tilt against the glass. The next year, I was still thinking about it. Clara never came back. Her parents said she transferred schools, but everyone knew that was a lie. When my best friend Bobby turned 18, he was chosen for Camp 2. He joked about it at first. "Maybe they'll finally make me a man," he said. But behind his laughter, I saw the fear. The morning he left, his mom cried. That night, I saw his dad burning all of Bobby's things in a metal barrel behind their house. Every single thing. A week later, strange things started happening around town. Dogs barking at nothing. People disappearing. And the air, it smelled like iron and rot. Then one night, I woke up to tapping on my window. When I looked outside, Bobby was there. Only it wasn't really Bobby. He looked like something half-finished, like someone had tried to rebuild him from memory. His skin was pale and waxy, like a mannequin's. His mouth hung open too wide, and his eyes, they didn't blink. He just stood there, whispering my name. "Addie, come see." I froze. He lifted a shaking hand and pointed toward the woods. "The camp, it's not a camp." Before I could react, headlights flashed across the street, and Bobby was gone. The next morning, no one believed me. They said Bobby's body had been found drowned near the lake. But that didn't make sense. I'd seen him. He'd been alive, or something close to it. The following summer, it was my turn. I was finally old enough for camp. The letter came in the mail, sealed with the same red symbol I'd seen on those men's sleeves years before. Mom cried when she saw it. Dad didn't say a word. He just stared at me, his face pale. The bus came at dawn. Every kid on it was silent. Even the ones who usually never shut up. We drove for hours until the forest swallowed us whole. That's when I saw it, a massive iron gate with the words, "Welcome to Camp Ascension." But it didn't look like a camp. It looked like a facility. High fences. Security cameras. Armed guards. We were lined up and given ID bracelets with colors on them. Red, purple, green. Mine was purple. They said it determined our group. But later, I'd learn it determined something far worse. Inside, the walls were lined with photos. Every kid who had ever attended. But none of them looked normal. Their eyes were hollow. Their smiles stretched too wide. The first night, they gave us pills. Said it was for hydration. I pretended to swallow mine. That's how I stayed awake to hear the screams. They came from the next cabin, low, guttural screams that didn't sound human. I crept outside, heart pounding. Through the cracks in the walls, I saw shadows moving. Figures in white coats. Children strapped to tables. And machines, humming like they were feeding off something alive. That's when I saw Summer Forrest, the girl who used to bully me in middle school. She was strapped down too, begging for help. One of the white-coated figures turned, and I saw his face. Or what was left of it. It was Nick, my other best friend. But half of his face was missing, skin peeled back, wires where veins should be. "Addie," he croaked. "Run." I didn't think. I ran. Outside, I could hear the sirens blaring. Searchlights flashed through the trees as I stumbled into the woods. But then a hand grabbed mine, warm, trembling. It was Nick. Barely human. Half alive. He looked at me with his one remaining eye. "I got out," he slurred, blood trickling down his chin. "They were processing us." "Processing?" I repeated, my voice shaking. He nodded weakly. "They're making something new, something perfect." Then his body went limp. I didn't even have time to scream before a blinding light hit my face. Voices shouted from behind me. "We've got movement!" I turned, clutching Nick's body, and I ran. Through branches, through mud, through pain and terror. All I knew was that whatever camp was, it wasn't meant to make us better. It was meant to change us. And Bobby, Clara, Nick, they weren't the first. They wouldn't be the last. I don't know how I escaped that night. Maybe I didn't. Maybe this is just what happens when they finish processing you. Sometimes, I look in the mirror and swear my reflection moves a second too late. Sometimes, I hear the camp whistle in the wind. And sometimes, I swear I still see Clara Danvers standing at the tree line. Smiling. Waiting. Because summer's coming again. And in Aceville, no one really escapes camp.